All right, let's visit Table Rock Mountain in the Linville Gorge Wilderness, North Carolina. Yep. So, there are a couple things about Table Rock Mountain that I want to tell you about as we're driving here. It's a little bit dark. So, I can tell you I've been up there, but as I'm driving out, I thought this video would be important for people to actually know, okay? This is in the same area as Hawksbill Mountain, and some like Short Off Mountain and that kind of thing. All right, so Hawksbill is a huge, popular area. And I'm going to tell you something. Table Rock Mountain and the Chimneys, which are in the same area. I didn't go to the Chimneys today, but I will. I'm coming back up here. I've never seen views like what I saw here in North Carolina or in the Appalachian Mountains. That's thing number one. Thing number two, you got to work to get it. And what I mean when I say that is the road to Table Rock Mountain is long. I mean, not super long, maybe 5-6 miles, but you can't drive much over about 15 miles an hour. It's bumpy, it's narrow. You'll be okay with the low vehicle, but not too much that I want to recommend. On the low vehicle, I might say, be careful with that. But here's the thing, and you can tell because I'm filming this going out. It's bumpy, you got to be careful, it's narrow in some spots, but because it's such a long drive and it's so bumpy, not very many people go there. The locals love it, and if you go, you'll see why. The views are spectacular. I've been told, I've not been to Hawksbill, but I've been told by people, trail workers that I met, the views at the Chimneys and on Table Rock Mountain are better than Hawksbill. So for those of you that have been on Hawksbill and you haven't gone up to Table Rock or the Chimneys, might be worth doing. At least as far as I'm concerned, I was awestruck with the views. And it's a fairly easy hike to the top of Table Rock Mountain, as is to the Chimneys. The hard work comes in navigating and driving all of these dirt road potholes. So without further ado, let's go to the trailhead at Table Rock Mountain and the Linville Gorge Wilderness in the Pisgah National Forest. Yep. This is a beautiful area. The Linville Gorge is a protected wilderness area. And so that you know, whenever you're doing this kind of thing, there are a lot of rules in protected wilderness areas. So it's a good idea to get a wilderness map overlay so you know where you're at. The Linville Gorge Wilderness area starts over at that parking lot, or I'm sorry, at that entrance over there. Now, you are not allowed to do commercial photography without a permit in the wilderness areas, as I understand it, and you're not allowed to fly a drone. So you can't even fly over. Like with the national parks, you can take off outside the park and technically fly in, and you're kind of skirting the law a little bit, but you're not even allowed to fly over protected wilderness areas, so you can't fly over the gorge. Now, the Table Rock summit falls just outside the border of the wilderness, so as long as I don't fly far away from Table Rock, I'm pretty sure I'll be within the law. We're going to go up and do some photography at Table Rock inside the Linville Gorge. We are going to have dinner up here, and we're going to do some awesome photography. It's a beautiful night, and then we're going to camp deep in the forest with the van and head home tomorrow. So let's go see what's up there. I've never been, so I'm excited. Well, I made it to the top of Table Rock Mountain, and as always, the view up here is spectacular. This is kind of part of that whole grandfather district, so there's a lot of rock and just overall unbelievable. Whoops, lost my hat. Beauty. Excuse my hair, it's a mess. Trying to decide how I'm going to frame this shot, and I've got a couple of options. I could set the camera low here. I'll show you. I could set the camera low here across this rock and get the sunset with the rock. I'm not sure if I want to do that, or over on the other side over there, there are some pine trees on the top of the ridge line, and boy, would it be pretty with those framing in the shot with the Smoky Mountains in the background. So we might go with that. I'm trying to decide right now. I guess we'll find out pretty soon. All right, well, I'll see you in a few. Okay, so after some deliberating, I've decided I'm going to stay here in the rocky area. And the reason for that is as follows. You can get mountain sunset photos all over the place. In the Rockies, in the Appalachians here, in the Sierra Nevada, all over the place. But the Smokies, but in particular this Linville Gorge, which the glacier really carved this sucker out. They call it the Grand Canyon of the East. The rocks here are very, very unique to here. And so I feel that when composing this shot, if I put the rocks in the foreground, it's going to speak about this area. And the top here is covered with rhododendron too. So I've got enough rock here. I can move around if I have to, but we're going to stick here, and I'm going to put the camera low because the clouds are up high. And they're kind of blowing this way, so they're going to be pretty high in the sky when we take this shot. But we're going to have a lot of vantage points across this plain. It's going to be hard to decide which to do, but it's going to be great either way. Probably going to be more than one shot on the screen that you're going to see from this set, just like the others. As an example, if we look behind us, all that's going to turn bright pink, and that's where the sun is. This is the opposite of the sun. So whenever you're doing sunset photography or any kind of landscape photography, here's a word from a mentor of mine that taught me something. Pay attention to what's behind you, because the best shot could be behind you. And so always be looking around everywhere. All right, so I'm gonna make my dinner. I'm excited about dinner, and then that'll get the sun down. Got about, I'd say about 45 minutes, and I gotta hoof it back to the van because I forgot my headlight, so it's gonna be a dark trek back. Okay, it's even fancy like at a coffee shop. Oh, so great. Okay. Well, that's pretty much going to do it for our shoot on top of Table Rock Mountain. It's been a great night. I met a couple of really nice young men. And then a gentleman named Craig up there who's using the campsite up there. I am so coming back here to camp. You just never know what you're going to find. Tonight's kind of funny because the prettiest shot actually was behind me, as it turned out. The sun kind of hid behind those clouds and just wouldn't come out. So thankfully this isn't a very long hike. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the scenery and the photography. And again, like I do, I'll share some of the images on the screen if I haven't already. I don't know. If you found it helpful or inspiring, if you could hit the like button, that'd be really great. And if you haven't subscribed, if you would consider subscribing, that would be also especially swell. And of course, click the notification bell to be notified of the next time I do a new video. And share it with your friends. Man, if you could tell your friends, it's a great thing. Been on the road now for 7 days. Tomorrow will be 8. And one of the things that going away does for me, it really helps me to appreciate the things that I have at home. I have a beautiful home. I have a business that I get to run and own on my own, so I don't have to answer to an employer like so many people do. And when the government was shutting everybody down, I could thumb my nose at them because I want to, and they're not going to tell me what to do, you know, that kind of thing. But I really find a lot of gratitude for, like, my daughter and stepson who are still home. I think about, well, my daughter's not technically home, but she has her own place within our property. But I think about my stepson and how helpful he is and what a great kid he is, because if you're watching this and you have a second marriage with stepkids, you know that it can be challenging. There's a lot of like, it's my kid, leave him alone. By the way, that's a mistake. It should not be that way. Trust me, it's horrible for the kids and it divides your marriage. Great stepson, beautiful wife who really is working hard on her borderline personality disorder and has become so different. It's crazy. And I appreciate both my sons who are serving our country in the military, sacrificing their lives for our freedom in spite of the Marxists making moves on the country. And I get to be out here, hummingbird flying around up here on the top of the mountain tonight, finding the time to really be introspective and reflect and appreciate what you have. I'll close out by saying this. I met a couple last night on Sam Knob, and he's independent, owns his own business, and is busier than he knows what to do with, and that's a great thing. But they were so happy together, and they were so free-spirited, and it was really neat to meet them. I really enjoyed that. And out here, one of the things that's happening for me is I'm opening up as a person, and I'm wanting to hear what other people's lives are like, which is unusual for me. So this is good. That's all I have to say, I guess. It's getting really dark, and I don't have my headlight like a moron, so I got to get going so I can get back before dark. Thanks again for coming by. We'll see you in the next one. Rob out.